Human life often feels like a series of repeating patterns, cycles of relationships, career struggles, or emotional challenges. Why do these patterns persist? Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, offers a profound explanation rooted in his concept of the collective unconscious. Jung believed that the human psyche is not a blank slate. Instead, it carries inherited psychological structures called archetypes. These universal patterns shape our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. For example, archetypes like the mother, hero, or trickster influence how we perceive and respond to situations. They are not memories, but rather innate templates that guide recurring experiences in life. These archetypes reside within the collective unconscious, a shared psychic realm that connects all of humanity. Jung likened this to evolutionary inheritance. Just as physical traits are passed down, so too are psychological blueprints. These archetypes manifest in myths, dreams, and cultural symbols across time and space. By understanding these patterns and their unconscious origins, Jung believed individuals could break free from repetitive cycles and move toward self-realization, a journey he called individuation. The human mind is like a vast ocean, with much of its depth hidden beneath the surface. Carl Jung, a Swiss psychologist, believed that there is more to our unconscious than just personal memories and experiences. He introduced the groundbreaking idea of the collective unconscious, a shared layer of the mind that connects all humans through inherited knowledge and universal symbols. Imagine it as a giant database passed down through generations, containing wisdom from our ancestors that influences how we think, feel, and act. Jung explained that the collective unconscious is not something we learn. It's something we are born with. It holds archetypes, which are universal symbols or patterns that shape human behavior. For example, no matter where you are in the world, people instinctively understand concepts like the mother, who nurtures and protects, or the hero who faces challenges to bring change. What's up? These archetypes appear in myths, stories, dreams, and even everyday life. Think about how many cultures have tales of brave heroes fighting evil or wise elders guiding younger generations. Jung argued that these recurring themes aren't coincidences. They come from the collective unconscious. This shared mental framework explains why people from different places and times often create similar art, religions, and traditions. The collective unconscious also influences emotions and instincts. For instance, many people feel an instinctive fear of snakes or spiders. Jung believed this fear isn't just personal. It's inherited from ancestors who learned to avoid dangerous creatures for survival. Similarly, feelings like déjà vu, the sensation of having experienced something before, may stem from this shared unconscious layer. Jung's idea was revolutionary because it showed how deeply interconnected humans are. He believed that understanding the collective unconscious could help people recognize patterns in their lives and break free from cycles that hold them back. For example, someone repeatedly choosing unhealthy relationships might be unconsciously influenced by archetypes they haven't fully understood or integrated. Critics have argued that Jung's concept is difficult to prove scientifically because it involves abstract ideas like archetypes and inherited symbols. However, supporters point out that anthropology, psychology, and neuroscience often confirm the existence of universal human experiences. For instance, studies show that people across cultures share similar emotional responses to certain situations, a hint at the influence of shared unconscious structures. Jung used this concept in therapy through his practice of analytical psychology. He encouraged patients to explore their dreams and fantasies to uncover connections to archetypes within their collective unconscious. By doing so, they could gain insight into their behaviors and emotions and move toward personal growth. To visualize the collective unconscious, Jung described a dream he had about a house with 3 levels. A well-decorated upper floor representing the conscious mind, a dark ground floor symbolizing the personal, unconscious, and a primitive basement filled with ancient relics, the collective unconscious. This imagery highlights how deeply rooted our shared psyche is in human history. As we delve deeper into Jung's ideas about archetypes, we'll explore how these universal symbols guide our lives and how understanding them can lead us toward self-discovery and transformation. Archetypes are universal symbols that live within all of us, shaping the way we think, feel, and act. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist who introduced this concept, believed that these archetypes are part of the collective unconscious, a shared mental space inherited from our ancestors. Imagine archetypes as characters in a story, figures like the hero, the mother, or the wise old man. These symbols aren't just found in myths or fairy tales. They're deeply embedded in our minds and influence how we navigate life. Take the hero archetype, for example. This figure represents bravery and determination and often appears in stories where someone overcomes great challenges to achieve their goal. Think of characters like Hercules or modern-day superheroes. They embody qualities that inspire us to face our own struggles. Similarly, the mother archetype symbolizes care and protection. Whether it's a biological mother or a nurturing figure like Mother Nature, these archetypes resonate across cultures because they reflect universal human experiences. Jung also identified other archetypes that represent different aspects of our psyche. The shadow is one of the most intriguing. It represents the darker side of ourselves, including fears and desires we often try to suppress. Confronting the shadow is essential for personal growth because it helps us understand and integrate parts of ourselves we might otherwise ignore. Another important archetype is the wise old man, a figure of wisdom and guidance who helps others find their way. This archetype appears in countless stories as mentors or sages who provide crucial advice. Archetypes don't just exist in stories, they influence our personalities and behaviors. Jung described 4 key archetypes tied to individual psychology. The persona, which is like a mask we wear to fit into society. The shadow, which holds our hidden traits. The anima animus, representing the feminine side in men and masculine side in women. And the self, which is the ultimate goal of personal development. A unified version of ourselves. These archetypes are dynamic and evolve based on culture and personal experiences. For example, while ancient myths might depict heroes as warriors, today's heroes could be scientists solving global problems or activists fighting for justice. Archetypes adapt to reflect contemporary values while still holding their universal lessons. Understanding archetypes can help us recognize patterns in our lives. If someone feels stuck repeating mistakes, like always choosing toxic relationships, they might be unconsciously influenced by an archetype such as the trickster, which thrives on chaos and unpredictability. By identifying these patterns and their roots in archetypes, people can work towards self-awareness and change. Jung believed that exploring archetypes was essential for individuation, the process of becoming your true self by integrating all aspects of your personality. He encouraged people to analyze their dreams and fantasies to uncover which archetypes were influencing their thoughts and actions. This journey toward individuation helps individuals embrace both their strengths and weaknesses, leading to personal growth. Archetypes also play a powerful role in storytelling. Writers use them to create characters that resonate with audiences on a deep level because they tap into universal emotions and ideas shared by all humans. That's why stories about love, loss, courage, and redemption feel so familiar. They connect with these timeless symbols within us. Individuation is the process of discovering who you truly are and becoming the best version of yourself. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist, believed that individuation is the central goal of human life. It's about integrating all parts of your personality, both the conscious and unconscious, so you can live as a whole, authentic person. Imagine your mind as a puzzle with many pieces scattered around. Individuation is the journey of finding and connecting those pieces to see the full picture. Jung explained that we often start life wearing a persona, which is like a mask we use to fit into society. This mask hides parts of who we really are, making us act in ways that others expect rather than ways that feel true to ourselves. While the persona helps us navigate social situations, it can also prevent us from exploring deeper aspects of our personality. Individuation begins when we start peeling back this mask to uncover what lies beneath. One of the first steps in individuation is confronting the shadow. The shadow represents the parts of ourselves we don't like or try to hide, things like fears, anger, or weaknesses. Jung believed that facing these uncomfortable aspects is essential for growth. For example, if someone avoids conflict because they fear anger, they might suppress their emotions and let negativity build up inside. By acknowledging and accepting their shadow, they can learn to express themselves in healthier ways. Another important part of individuation is understanding the anima and animus. These archetypes represent the feminine side in men and the masculine side in women, respectively. Jung believed that everyone has traits traditionally associated with both genders, and integrating these aspects leads to balance and self-awareness. For instance, a man embracing his anima might become more empathetic, while a woman connecting with her animus might gain confidence in leadership roles. The ultimate goal of individuation is reaching the self, which Jung described as the unifying center of our psyche. The self represents wholeness, the harmonious integration of all parts of our personality. It's not about being perfect, but about accepting yourself completely, including your strengths and flaws. When you achieve individuation, you feel grounded and authentic, able to live life with purpose and clarity. Individuation isn't always easy. It's a lifelong journey filled with challenges and self-reflection. Jung emphasized that it requires active engagement with your unconscious mind. This can involve analyzing dreams, exploring personal symbols, or practicing the shadow work where you confront hidden aspects of yourself. Dreams are especially important in Jung's approach because they reveal messages from your unconscious through images and archetypes. For example, imagine dreaming about climbing a mountain but feeling stuck halfway. Jung would interpret this as a symbol for your current struggle in life, perhaps an obstacle preventing you from reaching your goals. By reflecting on such dreams, you can uncover insights about your inner conflicts and take steps toward overcoming them. Individuation isn't just about personal growth. Jung believed it's also vital for society's health. When people over-identify with their personas, focusing only on social roles, they become easy targets for manipulation by oppressive systems or governments. Individuated individuals, on the other hand, are more independent thinkers who contribute positively to their communities. 2. It's important to remember that individuation is not about achieving perfection or following a strict formula. Each person's journey is unique because everyone has different experiences, challenges, and archetypes influencing them. The process requires patience and courage as you confront uncomfortable truths about yourself while embracing your potential. Imagine you're thinking about an old friend you haven't spoken to in years and suddenly they call you. Or perhaps you dream about a specific symbol, like a butterfly, and the next day you see one fluttering past your window. These moments might seem like coincidences, but Carl Jung, the famous Swiss psychologist, believed that they could be much more. They might be examples of synchronicity. Synchronicity is a fascinating concept that describes meaningful coincidences that are not connected by cause and effect, but still feel deeply significant. Jung introduced synchronicity to explain events that seem to align perfectly with our inner experiences or emotions. He called it a causal connecting principle, meaning these events don't happen because one thing causes another. Instead, they occur as if guided by a hidden order in the universe. For example, Jung once had a patient who dreamed about a golden scarab beetle. While discussing the dream, a real golden scarab beetle appeared at his office window. This coincidence wasn't random. It felt meaningful to both Jung and his patient, helping them uncover deeper insights during therapy. What makes synchronicity special is its emotional intensity. These events often happen during important moments in life, times of crisis, transformation, or deep reflection. Jung believed that synchronicities are tied to archetypes from the collective unconscious. For instance, during a relationship struggle, someone might experience synchronistic events involving symbols of love or partnership, like seeing heart-shaped objects or hearing songs about connection. These coincidences act as messages from the unconscious mind, guiding us toward understanding and growth. Synchronicity also challenges how we typically think about reality. Science often relies on cause and effect. If one thing happens, it leads to another. But synchronicity operates outside this logic. It suggests that the universe is interconnected in ways we can't always explain. Jung worked with physicist Wolfgang Pauli to explore this idea further, blending psychology and quantum physics to understand how inner thoughts and outer events might align. Recognizing synchronicity requires paying attention to your experiences and trusting your intuition. It's not about labeling every coincidence as meaningful, but about noticing when something feels significant on a deeper level. For example, if you've been searching for clarity about a big decision and suddenly encounter a symbol or event that resonates with your situation, it might be synchronicity guiding you. Jung believed that synchronicity could help people grow spiritually and psychologically. By reflecting on these meaningful coincidences, individuals can uncover hidden truths about themselves or their lives. Many therapists today use Jung's ideas to help clients explore their experiences of synchronicity during therapy sessions. However, it's important to approach synchronicity thoughtfully. While these events can feel magical, they shouldn't lead to superstition or overinterpretation. Jung emphasized that synchronicity is meant to enhance self-awareness rather than replace rational thinking. Synchronicities often leave us with a sense of awe and wonder, as if we're tapping into something greater than ourselves. They remind us that life isn't just random. It's filled with patterns and connections waiting to be discovered. These moments invite us to expand our awareness and embrace the mysterious aspects of existence. Now it's time to explore how balancing life's positive and negative experiences can help us break free from destructive cycles, bringing harmony into our lives just as synchronicity brings meaning into our moments. The magnet theory of opposites, inspired by Carl Jung's ideas, teaches us that life is full of pairs, positive and negative, light and dark, joy and sadness. Jung believed that opposites are not enemies but partners that help us grow. He referred to this concept as the coincidence of opposites. It's the idea that opposites exist together and balance each other, creating harmony in our minds and lives. Think of a magnet. It has two poles, north and south. These poles are opposite but inseparable. They work together to create magnetic energy. Similarly, Jung believed that our psyche, mind, works best when we embrace both sides of life, the good and the bad, the successes and the failure. If we try to focus only on one side, like always chasing happiness or avoiding sadness, we end up stuck in repeating patterns because we're ignoring half of what makes us whole. Jung explained that conflict between opposites is natural and necessary. For example, you might feel torn between wanting to be independent and wanting to stay close to your family. This inner struggle is not something to fear. It's an opportunity to grow. By understanding and accepting both sides of the conflict, you can find balance and make decisions that reflect your true self. Jung also believed that opposites are essential for personal transformation. He used the example of alchemy, a medieval practice where people tried to turn base metals into gold. Alchemists often talked about combining opposites like fire and water or sun and moon to create something new. Jung saw this as a metaphor for psychological growth. When we embrace both sides of ourselves, our strengths and weaknesses, we can transform into more complete individuals. One way Jung encouraged people to work with opposites was through dream analysis. Dreams often reveal conflicts between opposites in symbols or stories. For example, dreaming about a storm might represent a clash between emotions like anger and peace. By exploring these dreams, people can better understand their inner struggles and find ways to resolve them. The magnet theory of opposites also applies to relationships. Have you ever noticed how people in relationships often complement each other? One person might be outgoing while the other is shy, or one might be logical while the other is emotional. These differences can create tension, but also bring balance if both people learn to appreciate each other's strengths. Jung emphasized that embracing opposites doesn't mean choosing one over the other. It means finding unity between them. This idea is central to his concept of individuation, where a person becomes whole by integrating all parts of their personality, the light and dark, the positive and negative. However, this process isn't always easy. Facing your shadow or the darker parts of yourself can be uncomfortable. But Jung believed it was necessary for growth because ignoring these parts only leads to imbalance. For example, someone who avoids their anger might struggle with building strong boundaries in relationships. By acknowledging their anger as part of who they are, they can learn to express it in healthy ways. The magnet theory reminds us that life isn't about avoiding challenges or chasing perfection. It's about embracing everything that makes us human. When we accept both joy and pain, success and failure, we become stronger and more balanced. Self-awareness is the ability to understand your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors clearly. It's like holding up a mirror to your mind and seeing yourself as you truly are. Carl Jung believed that self-awareness was key to breaking free from repeating patterns and living a more authentic life. But how do you develop this skill? Luckily, there are many practical tools and activities that can help you become more self-aware and take charge of your personal growth. One of the simplest ways to start is by practicing gratitude. This involves taking a few minutes each day to write down 3 things you're thankful for. It could be something small, like enjoying a sunny day, or something big, like achieving a goal. Gratitude helps shift your focus from what's missing in your life to what's abundant, making you more aware of the positive aspects of your experiences. Another helpful tool is journaling. Writing down your thoughts and feelings regularly can reveal patterns in how you think and react to situations. For example, if you notice that certain events make you feel stressed or happy, you can start understanding why and take steps to improve how you handle those moments. Journaling also helps track progress in building self-awareness over time. Meditation is another powerful practice for self-awareness. When you meditate, you focus on the present moment, your breath, sensations, or surroundings, without judgment. This quiet time allows you to observe your thoughts and feelings as they come and go. Meditation teaches you not to get caught up in emotions, but instead to understand them better. Over time, this can help you respond to challenges with clarity rather than reacting impulsively. Mindfulness works hand in hand with meditation. It's about being fully present in everything you do, whether it's eating a meal, walking in nature, or having a conversation. Mindfulness helps you notice details about yourself and your environment that you might otherwise overlook. For example, paying attention to how certain situations make you feel can guide better decision-making. Taking personality tests is another way to build self-awareness. These assessments can help identify your strengths, weaknesses, values, and interests. Tools like the VIA Strengths Test or Shane's Career Anchors provide insights into what motivates you and how you interact with others. Understanding these aspects of yourself can lead to smarter choices in relationships, careers, and personal goals. Feedback from others is also invaluable for self-awareness. Sometimes we don't see ourselves clearly because we're too close to the situation. Asking trusted friends or mentors for honest feedback about your behavior can reveal blind spots, areas where you might need improvement or strengths you didn't realize you had. Trying new experiences is another way to learn about yourself. Stepping out of your comfort zone, whether it's learning a new skill or traveling somewhere unfamiliar, can show you how adaptable and resourceful you are. These experiences often highlight hidden talents or preferences that deepen your understanding of who you are. For those who struggle with self-doubt or negative inner voices, exercises like drawing out your gremlin can be surprisingly effective. This involves sketching a visual representation of that critical voice inside your head, the one that says you're not good enough or you'll never succeed. By giving it a face, people can confront their doubts more directly and learn how to quiet them over time. Finally, regular self-reflection is essential for building self-awareness. Setting aside just a few minutes at the end of each day to ask yourself questions like what went well today, or what could I do differently tomorrow, creates opportunities for growth without overwhelming effort. Self-awareness isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Each tool or activity helps uncover pieces of the puzzle that make up who you are so that you can live more intentionally and authentically. Carl Jung's groundbreaking ideas help us understand why patterns repeat in life. He believed that our behaviors are shaped by the collective unconscious, a shared mental space filled with universal symbols called archetypes. These archetypes, such as the hero, mother, or shadow, influence our thoughts and actions, often without us realizing it. When we fail to confront or integrate these unconscious forces, we find ourselves stuck in cycles, repeating the same mistakes or encountering similar challenges. Jung's concept of individuation offers a way out of these patterns. By exploring dreams, symbols, and emotions, we can uncover hidden aspects of ourselves and bring them into conscious awareness. This process allows us to embrace both the light and shadow within us. achieving personal growth and wholeness. To break free from life's repeating patterns, Jung encourages us to reflect deeply on our unconscious mind and archetype. Tools like journaling, meditation, and self-reflection can help us recognize these influences and guide us toward transformation. As Jung said, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. The journey of self-awareness is one of courage and discovery, a path toward understanding ourselves fully and creating a life filled with meaning and purpose.